And now here again is our guest, Dr. John Killinger. John, your wonderful message earlier on noticing God, the burning bush experiences in your life. John, can you convey what those moments have been for you?
Well, there's been a number of them. I think, when I was a teenager, I think we're very susceptible to them when we're young and our hormones are changing. And I had some of my very best ones when I was a teenager. I regret to say that they may be more vivid than most of the rest of them, but they're good food for memory, at least, and things to think about. But one of the things that I've tried to cultivate in my own life over the last several years is the attentiveness to the little things in life that make it so beautiful and wonderful. Katagiri Roshi, a Zen master, made the statement once that it is very deep to have a cup of tea. And I think if you can, sit quietly with a cup of tea or whatever you happen to be drinking and meditate on the moisture, the liquid itself, think about the miracle of a cup that holds something, and learn to see the joy, the thing that is evoked by just ordinary objects in life. Then you begin to understand that all of life is quite extraordinary, that the ordinary does become extraordinary.
It reminds me of the spiritualist Thich Nhat Hanh with mindfulness.
Right.
Every moment of every day is a precious jewel.
That's right.
But in your message, how often we're blinded to those moments of epiphany by the sense of duty and discipline in our lives.
Yeah.
You elaborated on Ebenezer Scrooge until that revelatory moment.
Yeah, some of the most religious people I know miss much of the spiritual nature of life because they treat religion as something they work at too. It's very hard to be playful, be spontaneous, to be present to life all the time. And so many things interfere with it. And I think it's the path that we've all got to struggle to find. Especially once we reach the midway part of life and life is fairly successful in terms of getting down the things we have to do in order to exist. One of the things I always liked about the Chinese in the days before the communists took over was that in their youth they studied Confucius in order to know the ethics and how they must behave. But when they got older, they were able to study Zen, which taught them to be playful and to notice things, to be spontaneous
and
again.
To open up. You talk about opening up to the childlike sense of wonder.
Right.
How can we do that when there are so many constraints and demands in our lives, in the everydayness of our lives?
Well, maybe part of it, and just take a business person who is up to his or her hocks in all kinds of contract negotiations and everything going on, to be able to sit for a moment at a table with all the people gathered around it who are parties to the contract, and to notice the shape of a beautiful little vase on the table, or the magic of a flower that happens to be in it, and just to concentrate on that for a moment and steal that moment away from the less spiritual things that are going on. Then maybe it will impart something magical to the contract itself and to the people around the table as we progress from the thing to the face to the people and the lives behind the negotiating and so forth. Maybe we could rehumanize or redivinize life that way.
I've always loved your reference to Thornton Wilder's play Our Town, and Emily, who returns for her 16th birthday and says, does anybody ever really see life while they're living it? John, you must tell us in our final moment about your new book, Lost to Wonder, Love, and Praise.
It's a book of prayers and affirmations that I have written over the years in churches I've served for Sunday worship. And I hope that they've caught some of the sense of wonder we're talking about, some of the mystery, because that's what I think needs to be in our prayers as well, in our formal liturgical moments, that there needs to be that sense of spontaneity and excitement about life that we sometimes leave out in religious settings.
Thanks for bringing us that so passionately today, John Killinger.